I'm drawn to Iceland because of my interest in wastelands, but particularly from the perspective of wastelands as being something that we're moving into and moving away from. Here you get a sense of raw creation where moss and grass starts to overtake these deserts and life starts to become established. It's also an interesting cornerstone in this dialogue on climate change. It's an incredibly complex, incredibly dynamic landscape full of volcanoes, wild northern seas, lava flows, geothermal energy, intense weather. One of the highlights is looking at the different waterfalls. We have small little ribbons and vast wide sheets. Some are low, some are very high. We were at one waterfall yesterday where we get to walk behind the waterfall and look through. The sunlight coming through the water is extraordinary. To be able to do that 360-degree venture around this column of water, absolutely beautiful. Last night we were on high cliffs and high winds looking over a dramatic sea arch along the length of the coast. The sunlight was absolutely beautiful. Today we're driving up into the caldera of a volcano. Hard to imagine that it's still active and we're going there. And we'll run into these silver ribbons of water cascading through that black sand. We spent quite a bit of time at the glacial lagoon, which is one of the highlights of any trip. It's this 10-kilometer wide lagoon at the bottom of a glacier, chock full of icebergs. In the morning we arrived and there was this fantastic fog. Everything was incredibly atmospheric, very mysterious. We photographed until midnight, and as it grew dark, we used lights to light up the icebergs that had been stranded on the beach as it pours out of the lagoon. It got me thinking about light in completely different ways. And it was really an eye-opening experience, and I'm sure I'll carry that forward into a lot of the work that I do in the future. Brilliant. So Einar at Focus on Nature has put together a beautiful team. There's always terrific chemistry. Small organization, just a few people, really friendly, very interesting characters, all professional photographers. So they bring a lot of experience, a lifetime of experience with Iceland and with photography. They're extremely flexible and make sure that you get into all the big locations, but also know all the little nooks and crannies of places to stop. I love Einar's attitude. There are no problems, only solutions. So when weather comes up, we know exactly where to shift. There's a certain hospitality. Einar will do these wonderful little touches like pull out these bars of dark chocolate, or we'll be photographing under a waterfall and suddenly he'll appear behind a student and open up an umbrella to keep the student and the camera dry. It's the human touch that's really impressed me so much about the culture of Iceland. You think of this grand, dramatic landscape, and yet you come and find this wonderful culture with this rich heritage, very interesting people. 1 foot back 1,000 years, Vikings, another foot in the 21st century with geothermal technology. Fascinating set of contrasts. It's a very rich, rich environment.